Hey there, Nawwar. So let's plough through these final 4 essays. But you should know, it really is minor corrections with your work. There's a couple of phrasing mistakes. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how precision in our words affects the meaning of our sentences. If we're writing formally, we can't drop the subject. We have to. I hope this letter finds you well, and this is the end of a sentence. I'm writing in response to the job opportunity of a senior interior architect. If that's the job title, then capitalize all of it. Personally, I don't capitalize job titles, but I know some people do and some people don't, but I wouldn't. Please find below a detailed cover letter in addition to my curriculum vitae attached for your reference. I don't think this is really necessary. Also, it should be like this. And there's really no need to capitalize master's degree or the titles of our degree. And if we're going to, then we must do all of it. Ally companies. Do you mean like related companies by agreement? I mean, so if a company owns multiple companies, one of these companies may say that another one of these companies is its sister company. So I think you may mean sister companies. If they're owned by the same company, they are sister companies. I'm eager to expand my knowledge by learning more about your products and sister companies. I also look forward to implementing my acquired skills to help improve the company's sales. So here, this is a good way, if you wanted to do here, you could say, considering my education, I am a holder of, or I hold a master's degree. I have 3 years of, sorry. We are responsible for things. I think we need another verb here. Or, if we get rid of this, then we are creating 3D perspectives and mood boards to ensure the spatial design, colour scheme, and material selection are perfectly visualized for the client. Here as well, a good thing to write is something like, I look forward to discussing this further at interview. And it's yours faithfully to an unknown person or business. Let's move this down one. So here where you say that you agree that humans embrace change, resulting in positive development most of the time, it doesn't say what should happen. Also, you don't answer the question of improving an intellectual level. You say that some people believe that's true, but you don't actually give us an answer yourself. So I would switch this to personally, I believe the latter option plays a major role in improving humanity on an intellectual level. Cool. So now we do say that you believe that the latter option, people should change according to technology, improves human intellect. So now we've answered both parts of the question in the introduction. Adopted. These are really strictly related, so it would be good to have them like this. Okay, so this is just explaining that humans do tend to adopt new things, but what we are being asked by this question is, should humanity adapt to technology, or should technology be adapted to us? It's a question of what ought happen in the future. So we need to make sure that we're speaking about what we think should happen, rather than what does happen. Let's keep it ad intellectual, because that's what the subject is of this essay. This could just be to facilitate learning. Have a 20% lower exam failure rate. If we want to be super precise, on average, a 20% lower exam failure rate. Those are technologies well practiced, but implemented. I think beneficial cognitive results. Okay, so the essay overall was quite well written, but remember that this was talking about what should happen, not what does happen. It was asking you to make recommendations. You do start by saying that whether people should adjust to technology or whether people blah blah blah, but at the end you've switched to what is happening. You say that it will enhance human intellect, but you say that it is currently being adopted by people. That's not, like I said, not strictly the focus of the essay. I would say I'm contacting you to complain about a recent dining experience at the downtown branch of your restaurant. Oops. often that's that mistake that everybody makes. In hope of, or in the hope of an immediate change? Good. Past tense, we can just use past simple here. Oh, what's wrong with me? Maybe a seemingly random order. Good. And you did do the faithfully this time instead of the sincerely. Remember, there is a rule for this. Sincerely is for close friends, people whose name you know. Faithfully is for businesses or unknown people. And if it's like kind of a casual acquaintance, somewhere in the middle, you can use yours truly. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So this kind of skips a level. This is what I was talking about before. The question is that many professionals are calling for a revolution, that they are demanding change. So while those people may also be implementing new techniques, the question talks about what they are calling for. Another thing, the question talks about children's natural talents, children's innate abilities. Okay, actually the rest, this statement is great, but it was just that paraphrase of the question. It needed to just be a little bit more precise. We need to make sure when we begin an essay that we are discussing exactly the question that we've been provided with. So this question, you've here sort of justified the revolution, but what the question was asking for the first part is, are there any alternatives? We were strictly looking for the alternatives rather than a justification of the revolution. So maybe the first sentence could have been, I agree that education today is somewhat outdated and requires new methods. There are a number of methods that have been proven to work, such as implementing the use of tablets. So what we needed to do was more fully develop the idea of the alternatives, rather than justifying the revolution. But overall, this is a really well-written paragraph. What does this mean? 21% of participants in school projects regress annually. I don't understand the meaning of that example. So what we needed to discuss here was the fact that traditional schooling does more harm than good because it asks all students to learn the same thing, instead of focusing on their natural proclivities, their natural talents, things that they're interested in doing. So what are the alternatives? How is it doing more harm than good? If we look at the mark scheme, you did address all parts of the task, you did present a clear position, and you did present and extend your main ideas, but there was a tendency to generalise, and supporting ideas did lack a little bit of focus. But you'll be glad to know that you do well satisfy the criteria for Task Achievement Band 7. You do, however, need to make sure that you concentrate equally on the other areas. Thankfully, your grammar, your lexical resource, and your coherence and cohesion are pretty damn good, if I'm honest. It's just that some of your paragraphs don't take into account every detail that the question presents. And that's probably the biggest area for you to improve on. I tell you what, I'll send you one more essay to do before your exam. If you have the time, send it over today and I will do it for you tomorrow afternoon so that you have it before Saturday. But I'll send this over to you now, Nawwar. Have a great day and bye-bye for now.